Hi everyone, this is Mohammed from megaprogrammers.com, and in this video we're going to be talking about declaring variables. As you can see, I already created a project in Visual Studio and I called it declaring variables. And we can declare a variable in 4 steps. The first step is telling C# compiler what is the data type. In this case, I'm going to go with int. Second step is the variable name or identifier, and I'm gonna go with my int. The variable name can be anything you would like. If you notice the way I named my variable, I typed my and then capitalized the letter I in int to make it easier to read. C# is really recommending that. You can use underscores, but make sure that you don't use spaces. We can't use spaces in variable names. If I was to name this variable my int variable, I would capitalize the letter V in the word variable. The third step is using the assignment operator, which is equals, and the fourth step is actually giving it a value, and I'm going to go with 4. Let's go ahead and output that value to our command prompt. C# variable names are case sensitive, so I can't just type my int all lowercase. The compiler will complain that my int is not a declared variable. So we need to capitalize the I, and we're just going to add console.readline to let the window stick around so we can see the results. And don't forget your semicolon. And I'm going to click start, and as you can see, 4. So that's actually declaring and initializing a variable in the same line. In some cases, if the value is going to be dynamic, you're going to have to declare the variable in a line and then initialize it in a second line. And this is how we do it. I'm going to do int my second int, and again, capitalizing the letter of every word, and that's called camel case. And then my second int equals 5. There's a green line under the variable name, and that means that this variable has not been used. But no worries, we're going to use it right now. And then my second int. Let's go ahead and push F5 to run the application, and as you can see, 4 and 5. There is also another way to declare variables in C#, and that's actually using the class name. So far, we have been using the short name or the alias. And in order to do that, we can type int my third int equals new int 32, and then open and close brackets. And we can give it a value of, let's say, 4, 5. Okay, so we're going to go with 6. And console dot write line my third int, and let's go ahead F5 to run our program, and 4, 5, 6. The big difference between declaring a variable using the short name and declaring the variable using the class is that when we declare a variable using the short name, you will have to initialize it at some point. You can just type int my second int and just leave it like that. All right, it's going to complain. But if you do that with the class name, it's going to give it an initial value of 0. So if we hit start, as you can see, 0 instead of 6. So that's called explicit data typing, and that means we're telling C# what is the data type to expect. The implicit data typing is by using the keyword var, and we can just call it my variable. equals 56, for example. And we can output it to the command prompt. And if we push F5, it's gonna output 56. But wait a minute, we did not tell C# what is the data type of the variable. That's because the data itself, or the value itself, told C#, all right, this is an int. If you would like to output the data type, you can go ahead and type console dot write line my variable dot get type, and that's a method, so it needs opening and closing brackets, and then dot to string, and again that's a method, so it needs opening and closing brackets. We can go ahead and click start, and as you can see, system.int32. So by the value, C# compiler recognized that this is an integer. All the .NET data types are members of the system namespace, and that's why when we ran our application, you saw system dot before the int32. Alright, so that's it for this video, and until the next one, happy programming!